Greetings all, Ferrari Man 601 here. Actually, it isn't. Hey everybody, it's Aiden here once again, and for the first time in ages, we're back in Assetto Corsa for a mod review. Well, a mod review within Assetto Corsa. I mean, I've done mod reviews before, but I wrote the script yesterday, but within the last few hours or so, VRC, the team that brought you the McLaren MP422, MP420, the Renault R25 that got me third in the last Hot Lap contest, and others, have released version 0.1 beta of the 1997 Ferrari F310b. Now, as always with these mod reviews, you're going to be seeing my first laps and first impressions of this car on track and here in showroom view, and I'll be showing how it looks on the outside as well as commenting mainly on the physics when we get driving. So the Ferrari F310b was the car used by Michael Schumacher and Eddie Irvine in the 1997 Formula 1 World Championship and is a direct successor to the previous year's car, the F310. In 1996, the F310 had a good chassis that nabbed pole at places such as Imola, Monaco and France, but broke down far too often, with Irvine suffering 8 successive retirements from reliability and famously Schumacher's engine blowing up on the formation lap at Manicourt, ending the then champions race before it even started. Now, even Damon Hill, who was the eventual winner of that French Grand Prix, was surprised by that retirement, saying, "When you're going around on the parade lap and someone's engine blows up in front of you, it's the last thing you expect." And Sebastian Vettel had the same thing happen to him in Bahrain not long ago. Well, he did say he wanted to be like Michael. Well, back to the F310, and the development was all over the place. The car was late, meaning Ferrari were forced to use a lot of 1995 parts as a stopgap until Canada, when the car finally resembled something from 1986. It was the last car of that era to use the lower nose cone, where everybody else had moved over to the higher nose cone that we saw on the FW18, the Benetton B196, and here in Assetto Corsa, the FW19. Now, this Ferrari was the first to use a V10 engine as well, with Ferrari finally realising that V12s were, although powerful, too heavy and too thirsty. The name 310 refers to the engine used, a 3-litre V10. And this nomenclature was consistent with Ferrari cars since 1996 to 1980 and similar to the 248 that in 2006, which used the 2.4-litre V8. So I hope you've learned something new there. And John Barnard was the designer of this car, and he intended to evolve the 1996 car into something that could eventually win the championship. Barnard would not have input in the 1997 car, however, as Rory Byrne and Ross Brawn arrived, and the Ferrari boss Jean Todt decided that the entire team had to be in Italy. And with Barnard not willing to move, Ferrari sold him the offices he worked in, and this became B3 Technologies, which designed cars for Arrows and Prost before going into administration in 2008. While the 1996 car won 3 Grand Prix, the 1997 car was much more competitive and reliable and won 5 races on the way to a title showdown between Michael Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve at the final round in Jerez, which was clouded in controversy after Schumacher tried to punt Villeneuve off the road at the Curva dry sack hairpin, which later resulted in Schumacher's expulsion from the 1997 standings. So I've badly written that sentence, haven't I? The full story on that race will be in the end screen, sort of saying like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff at the end of the video. So enough of the history of the car, let's take a look at what we've got to play with here. So we've got a 3-litre V10 in the back of this, much like we had in the FW19 that I drove. When was that? The summer? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? And this engine produces something in the region of about 750 horsepower. The engine is a Ferrari Tipo 046 75-degree V10 with a 6-speed transverse semi-auto sequential gearbox, depending on which track they were going to. We've also got pushrod suspension, carbon fibre and honeycomb composite chassis, and the whole thing powered by Shell fuels and running on Goodyear tyres. Now, this is the last Ferrari of the wide-track era, as F1 moved to a narrow track and groove tyres for 1998, and is the first car to run on Shell after AGIP provided the fuel before, although they used Shell way back in the 60s and so on. So, with all that out the way, let's take a look at El Modelo. So, I mean, it's a VRC car. This is the unscripted part of the video, so if I mess up, well. But this is Eddie Irvine's car, and like I say, it's a VRC car, so 0.1 beta, we've got phenomenal textures, a phenomenally nice looking model, and all the details you'd expect. Now we've got the details on the Eagle Goodyear tyre here, or the Goodyear Eagle tyre I should say. I mean, it's even got the details in it saying for racing purposes only, not for highway use. All the mouldings, the wear on the tyre as well. The reflections look great. Got the fuel filler cap, the fuel filler cap there. And with all the cars that I tend to review, I've gone for the tobacco livery here. with the 90s style Fiat logo and all that good stuff. And here's the back of the car. You can see all the details there on the back of the radiators. The whole car looks basic compared to what we see today. We've got the steering wheel there as well. I mean, like, zooming right in on all of these textures, and there's no blur. Everything's just high res. Look at that, that's great. We've got the very basic front wing compared to the Ferraris of today. Virtually all the cars had gone for this high nose by this point, and this pretty much resembles what Williams were using at the time. I think a lot of the teams had tried to copy Williams at this part of history, same way that they would try and copy McLaren a little bit further on. And if you see the cars that are coming out now, a lot of them are copying the side pod design of the previous year's Ferrari, I should say. I was kind of a sip of my beer there. Right, as it's Friday, and I don't give a fuck. Well, it's non-alcoholic beer because A, I'm driving, sort of, and I'm not allowed alcohol as part of my medication. But I'm just going to keep looking around the car. We've got the old style airbox camera on the top of the roll hoop here, which got replaced by a more aerodynamic design in 1998, 99. I think it was somewhere around that point. And we've got the high-sided cockpits you can see here, nowhere near as high as they were in 1996. The cockpit size sort of became more standardized, I guess, for aerodynamic purposes. Excuse me, and for safety and things like that. I remember the 1996 car. The 96, I think it was the 96 Ferrari McLaren footwork, and Benetton in particular had, very high cockpit size. But like I say, I'm running out of superlatives to use for VRC's work because this is just phenomenal. I'm not a fan of Ferrari, as you guys know, but this looks fantastic. It really does. So, what we're going to do in terms of taking this for a test, I thought I'd take it to Jerez, the site of the infamous showdown that year. I know I drove that in the previous video that I did with the Halo, but I quite enjoyed driving around there, even though I couldn't see a thing. But I thought I'd keep it historical, and it's a nice short track as well. So let's get down to Jerez, see how this thing sounds, see how this thing runs, see how this thing grips, and see how similar it is to the FW19, because, well, they were the two title contenders that year. So let's get down to Jerez and go and have some fun. Okay then, so we're sat in the car in the pit lane at El Circuito de Jerez in sunny Spain. We're just having a look around the cockpit first, just to see what kind of detailing and textures we've got. Can't really see all the way around, but I can see the side pod, that's pretty good. Field of view in here is quite far back in the seat. That's what I feel anyway. But looking down, we've got Eddie's race seat. We're driving Eddie's car here. And see the Irish flag on there, even though he's technically British because he's from the northern part of Ireland, Northern Ireland. Got there eventually. Got no fuel in the car at the minute. We'll see how it sounds in a minute. When you load up the car, it does the usual, these sounds were made by Mr. Mike and only for use in the blah blah blah, which is a standard VRC thing. Front and rear wing adjustments. Can't talk today, but we've got our gears, tyres, soft, medium, hard, and Bridgestone. Okay. We'll leave it on the softs, and we'll just leave everything default for now. Fuel. I'll put 40 litres in. I'll leave all this the same. And then we've got our camber and tow. Dampers with our bump and rebound. Drivetrain. Generic stuff. Anti-roll bars and all of that good stuff. Secondary suspensions and our pit stop strategy. So pretty much what you see on every VRC car, but we've actually got 7 gears, not the 6 gears. So I'm assuming, I'm just itching my eye here, I'm assuming that VRC will give us the option to have 6 or 7 depending on where we're racing or what we want and that kind of stuff. It's quite rare to see a car with 7 gears in the 90s. and obviously the bit where we do our main setup. But moving actually into the cockpit, and we can see a bit more now. We've got 40 litres of fuel, we can see there next to the neutral button. Underneath that we've got the water temperature and our revs, which we can make it go up and down. Put my foot on the brake, flick through all 7 gears, and we've got our speed next to that. Well, we've technically got 8 because we've got the reverse gear. And I think we should just go for a drive. See what we can do here in Schumacher's battering ram.
Wow, what do you say after that one? Brutal, savage, wrecked, absolutely taken down.
Well, Irvine's car. I'm driving with Irvine because everybody's going to be driving in Schumacher's car, aren't they? So, yeah, show Eddie some love. I always liked Eddie. She's pretty loud. Get her through the box. Tyres not up to temperature just yet. Down the back straight. Coming up to the dry stack hairpin. Just finding the brakes. Unlike the Williams, it's quite quiet. Until you get your foot down and then it gets loud. It's probably the only complaint I have. Oh god, only complaint I have so far. So we end up in the grass. Steering's very light. Lighter than I was anticipating. Oh, the back end wanted to go then. But on a default setup, it feels okay. But like, oh god, like anything, it takes some getting used to initially. I'm going to put that forward a bit. I'll drive around a bit, let you know what I think. And then I'll do a proper setup, and then we'll see what it's like when I've actually done a proper setup. And like the FW19, we've got that hump in the middle. But it's not as intrusive. I need some rear downforce on this thing. Definitely need some rear downforce. Oh, for fuck's sake, come on! Oh, just kept it out the wall. Right, let's try and do a lap without going off the road. Just letting you listen to the sounds of the engine. Well, that, and it's too loud to talk over when the roads pick up. Squirrely under braking. I need to sort that out. See a little bit of glow from the brake discs under braking. That's pretty cool. Graphically, it's fantastic. Oh, and I've got a lap delta as well. That's good. But, you know, all of these things I'm never really looking at. Just trying to spot my corners. Still trying to work out what gear to take a lot of these corners in. Had 8 gears the other day. I've now got 7 and a totally different engine to work with. I've gone from a V6 hybrid to a V10. It's a different driving style with power application and gear changing and things like that. Hybrid, you've got to be more frugal. You've got to change up to save fuel and the engine and oh no, and all that stuff. Whereas with a V10 you can just go flat out all the time, and when you've got used to one thing and you're going into something else, it's it's a little bit difficult to get your head around. So what I'm going to do, as we've made a complete hash of this, pull into the pits a second. Oh, for crying out loud, come on. I'm not drunk, I promise you. We'll just pull into the pits here. And just sort of... So on default setup, it slides around a lot. It kind of makes you need to go around and drive slowly, but I think that's a good thing, as it allows people who aren't that good with setups or whatever to just get used to how the car is and then sort of build a setup around that. So that's what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to go back into the pit lane. Well, I am in the pit lane. I'm going to go back into the pit menu, adjust some setup. What's the word? Variables. Adjust some setup variables. No, that's not right, is it? But anyway, I'm going to do that, and we'll see how it handles once we've actually got a decent setup to work with. So I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so welcome back. I've put 34 litres worth of fuel in. I've adjusted my seat position a little bit. I can still see all around me, and I've adjusted my downforce, adjusted my front springs. I forgot to put the brake balance back forward. I have to put it quite far forward even for me, but let's go. See how she handles. Well, the turning's improved at least. Bit of a lift, can't take that flat. 5th gear for this long right-hander, and got it on the other side, there we go. Oh, stuck it on the curb and I locked my left front. Quite a lot of grip. Oh, I'm going to get used to my gear settings again. Oops. And there's my turn in. Bit of front end slide, and then we can power out the other side, there we go. Yeah, my line's all wrong. Oops. I keep expecting there to be more grip than there actually is. This is the problem when you jump from car to car, you've got to relearn really quickly. Tyres are up to temperature now. Fantastic. Now it feels incredible. That was my fault, that one. No, I've got too much confidence in the car. Fucking downshift protection. Now what I don't know is, was I 2 seconds faster that lap or was I 2 seconds slower? Doesn't actually tell me, does it? What a car. What a car. Ah. Okay, so it's second then third. I keep doing it the other way around for some reason. I knew it was one of those ways. Oh, shit. Alright, there's still one more lap then, shall we? I'm actually speechless as to how good this car is. Oh no! Oh dear. Oh well. Let me, was it F5? Yeah, it was. This has been the Ferrari F310b from VRC, and it is an absolutely phenomenal car. It will take a little bit of setup work. It won't go very, very quick out the box, but it's drivable. But yeah, it does require a little bit of a setup to get good, as it were. But I thoroughly enjoy this car. Sorry about the crashes, but you know, when you jump from one car into another in quick succession, it's yeah, it can throw you off a little bit. And I probably should have done a few laps to get used to it before recording, but I like to show you my initial impressions straight away. So until next time, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you've driven it yourself or want to know more, then please leave a comment. I will get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, remember to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. And until next time, I've been Aidan Millward. Have a great day wherever you live in the world, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. So, goodbye.